Shalom. First and foremost, I would like to give all honor, praises, and glory to Yahweh, Bahashem Yahweh Shai, Bahashem Rekakadash, and double honors and respect to the elders and apostles of Great Millstone for teaching me this truth, as well as much respect and honors to the brothers that are pushing this truth and sincerity across the four winds of this earth and risking their lives and freedom to do so. I would also like to give much honors and respect to the brothers and sisters that are of the hopeful elect, that are doing their very best to keep the laws, statutes, and commandments of the Most High to the best of their ability. Shalom. Men of Israel, stay clear of these wicked Eves, okay? Now here it is, in this video right here, this is a prime example of a wicked Eve right here, because look at what she's doing. Now here it is, you have this wicked Eve right here in this video. She's basically emasculating this little boy, okay? So again, men of Israel, stay clear of these wicked Eves and don't procreate with them, because if you procreate with them, this is, in many cases, this is what a lot of them will do, okay? They will emasculate the little boys and they will thought out the little girls, okay? Now here it is, back to this video. You have this wicked Eve in the video, and I believe this is her son that she's with, and you see what she's doing with her son. She's got her son walking around and posing with high heels on, okay? Basically, emasculating them, making them effeminate. What she's doing is she's introducing them to the ABC Mo community. She's basically setting them up, okay, to go down a path of destruction. Because that ABC Mo community is a filthy and disgusting lifestyle that leads to nothing but confusion, disease, death, and destruction. And this wicked Eve in the video, she's setting this little boy up, okay, to go down that path, okay? She's setting him up, okay? She's basically introducing him to the ABC Mo community. And this is what a lot of these wicked Eves will do, okay? They will emasculate the little boys and they will thought out the little girls, And see, when you see videos like this right here, I see why, the apostles, say, to stay clear of Eve, preferably the American black woman, okay? The so-called American black woman, I'll say it like that. But, and I'm not doing this lesson to bash all of our women, because we have some of our women that have come back and they're trying to do right. But the majority of our women over here in Babylon the Great, they're through, okay? They're wicked as hell. And this right here is a prime example of a wicked Eve. And see, and this is why Jacob's trouble is necessary. This is why the destruction of Babylon the Great is necessary. And this is why, these wicked Eves, they're going to get caught up into the evils and the calamities that's going to come with Jacob's trouble. They're going to get caught into that thermonuclear destruction that's coming to Babylon the Great. And it's a judgment that's well deserved. Because again, the majority of our women over here are through, And so, with that being said, men of Israel, if you don't have any children, in this wicked society of Esau's, because a lot of our women have made a pact with this devil Esau. And if you don't have any children in this wicked society of Esau's, you're in a good place. You're in a good place. And if you don't have any, I sure wouldn't be trying to have any. Not in this wicked society of Esau's. Okay? Because again, a lot of our women have made a pact with this devil. And a lot of our women have taken on the enchantments and the philosophies that's pushed out over here in Babylon the Great. And what a lot of these women are doing is they're taking these wicked enchantments and philosophies that they have learned over here in Babylon the Great, and they're passing them on to the children. And see, also too, what Esau does is he gives the woman liberties too. Because here it is, Esau, he'll give the woman liberty to rule over the man. Okay, Esau, he'll give the woman, liberty to kick the man out of the home. And see, and in many cases, you'll have Eve, she, a lot of our women have taken that bait. And so a lot of our women have, put the man out of the home. And as a result, that leaves the woman, primarily responsible for raising the children. And in many cases, you'll get, you'll get situations to where, like, the little boys are very emotional because there's no real man in the picture. You'll get little boys, they'll be effeminate. Okay. You'll have little girls, they'll be all thoughted out and whatnot. And see, this is why, it's important for a real man to be in the home. Because a real man, preferably a man of the Lord, would not be standing for this. A real man would be putting a stop to this. Okay. But, again, here it is. As I was saying, Esau, he gives, our women, these different liberties and whatnot. And a lot of our women, they have taken the bait. And a lot of our women, when they can't get their way with Jake, they can't rule over Jake. They'll put Jake out of the home. And then as a result, in many cases, you'll have Eve, left primarily raising the children. And in many cases, you'll get, this will be your outcome right here. Okay. And so, again, I'm not doing this lesson to bash all of our women, because we have some of our women, they have come back and they're trying to do right. But the majority of our women, over here in Babylon the Great, they're through. They're through. And this right here is a prime example, of a wicked Eve, And basically what she's doing is she's setting this little boy up to go down a path of destruction. And, with that being said, I won't even be surprised if you have some wicked Eves, that are, they get in their feelings, and they may come to the comment board, and, make some little rude comments and whatnot. Those wicked Eves that do that, they're part of the problem. Okay. They're part of the problem. They're the reason why you're having little boys, walking around and posing in high heels and acting all effeminate and whatnot. And little girls, being all thotted out. They're the reasons behind that. Because they're the ones that's raising them. So what I'm going to go ahead and do is I'm going to bring out a few scriptures and then we'll end the lesson. Okay, the first scripture I want to go to is in the book of Ecclesiasticus, and this is chapter 25, and this is verse 24. And it reads, "Of the woman came the beginning of sin, and through her we all die." And that's right, because the woman was the first to go off and bring sin into the world, and through her we all die. Okay? Now here it is, this little boy in this TikTok video that I shared in the beginning of this lesson, he was being emasculated by his mother. The mother was basically training a little boy up to become effeminate, okay? She was basically setting a little boy up to become part of the ABC Mo agenda, which again is a filthy and disgusting lifestyle that leads to nothing but confusion, disease, death, and destruction. Now here it is, you had this woman in the video, she was allowing a little boy to walk around and pose in high heels and whatnot, okay? That right there is just wicked as hell, just straight up wicked. And again, the mother, she's basically setting a little boy up on a path that leads to nothing but destruction. So this video that I shared in the beginning of this lesson with this wicked Eve, okay, allowing this little boy to walk around and pose in high heels is an example of through the woman, we all die. Because again, what she's doing is she's emasculating a little boy, okay, she's making him effeminate, she's making him emotional, she's introducing him to the ABC Mo agenda, which again leads to nothing but destruction. Okay, this is Ecclesiasticus chapter 3, and this is verse 9. And I don't plan to keep this lesson long. Ecclesiasticus chapter 3, and this is verse 9. It says, "For the blessing of the father established the houses of children, but the curse of the mother rooted out foundations." Okay, and see, men of Israel, this is why you have to be very careful of who you lay with and who you procreate with. Okay, and again, if you don't have any children, with these wicked Eves and this wicked, queen of Esau's, you're actually in a good place, because in many cases, you're going to have, these wicked Eves, doing what you're seeing. This wicked Eve in the video doing, basically emasculating, little boys and thotting out little girls and whatnot. And again, I'm not doing this lesson to bash all of our women, because we have some of our women that have come back and they're trying to do right. But the majority of our women over here in Babylon the Great, they're through. They're wicked as hell. And you just have to stand on the truth and call it like it is. Ecclesiasticus chapter 3, and this is verse 9 again. It says, "For the blessing of the father established the houses of children, but the curse of the mother rooted out foundations." Okay? And see, here it is. A man can set up good rules and a foundation to raise, children the right way. But if he's had those children with the wicked woman, that wicked woman would tear down all those good rules and foundation. And as a result of that wicked woman tearing down those good rules and foundation that man has set, you'll have Wicked women, like this Eve in the video that I shared in the beginning of this lesson, emasculating the little boys by allowing the little boys to pose and walk around in high heels and whatnot. Okay, basically setting the little boy up, okay, to go down a path of destruction. And again, men of Israel, this is why you have to be very careful of who you lay with. And again, you men of Israel, you're in a good position if you don't have any children in this wicked society of Esau's. Okay, you're in a good position if you don't have any children in this wicked society of Esau's, because many of our women have made a pact with this devil, and many of our women have taken on the enchantments and the philosophies, and the liberties that this devil has given them. And as a result, you have many of our women raising our little boys to become very emotional and effeminate, and they're raising our little girls to grow up and become thoughts, take rides on the cock carousel, and to have multiple baby daddies. Okay, this is Ecclesiastes chapter 42, and this is verse 14. And it reads, "Better is the churlish of a man than a courteous woman. A woman, I say, which bringeth shame and reproach." Let's read that from the top again. Ecclesiastes chapter 42 and verse 14. Again, it says, "Better is the churliness of a man than a courteous woman. A woman, I say, which bringeth shame and reproach." Okay, and see, churlish means harsh or rude. So the Most High is saying the harshness or rudeness of a man is better than that of a courteous woman. And courteous means polite. Let's read this again. This is Ecclesiastes chapter 42 and verse 14 again. It says, "Better is the churliness of a man than a courteous woman. A woman, I say, which bringeth shame and reproach." Okay, and see, the video that I shared in the beginning of this lesson, you had this wicked Eve, that was emasculating her little boy. And more than likely, there's no man in the home, because if there was a real man in the home, he would never allow this to happen. Okay, so more than likely, this little boy is being raised by a single mother. And this wicked Eve, who is more than likely a single mother, is bringing forth much shame. Okay, she's bringing forth much shame because she has this little boy walking around and posing in high heels. Okay, she's also emasculating the little boy. And then here it is, she's also recording it. She's recording herself emasculating this little boy, by having him walking around in high heels and posing in high heels and whatnot. And she's recorded it and she's uploaded to social media for the whole world to see the shame that she's bringing forth. Okay? And see, here it is. If you, was to call her out, or try to correct her on the wickedness that she's doing, all you're going to get is just a bunch of mouth, a bunch of attitude, and you might even have a fight on your hands. But, again, this is why Jacob's trouble is necessary. This is why the destruction of Babylon the Great is necessary. And these wicked Eves, they're going to get caught into the evils and the calamities that's coming with Jacob's trouble. They're going to get caught into that thermonuclear destruction that's coming to Babylon the Great. And it's a judgment that's well deserved. Because, again, the majority of our women over here are through, and they need that hard reset. They're going to need that hard reset. Okay, this is going to be my last scripture. This is Ecclesiastes chapter 42, and this is verse 13. And it reads, "For from garments cometh a moth, and from women wickedness." And again, this video that I shared in the beginning of the lesson is a prime example of wickedness coming from a woman. Because again, here it is. She's making a little boy effeminate. Okay, she's introducing him basically to the ABC Mo agenda. She's setting a little boy up on a path, to be destroyed. Okay, she's setting a little boy up on a path of destruction. That's what I'm trying to say. And so, again, men of Israel, this is why you have to be very careful of who you lay with. Because if you get with a wicked Eve like this one in the video, she's going to make your life a living hell, and she's going to make your children's life a living hell. And so, that's pretty much the point. I'm going to go ahead and end off here. I hope it was edifying. Once again, I want to give all honor, praises, and glory to Yahweh, Bahashem Yahweh Shai, and double honors and respect to the elders and apostles of Great Millstone, Kwam Yasharala Nabar Babar. Shalom.